Well, spring is just around the corner and is a great time to think about sprucing up your yard. But where exactly do you begin? Well, our resident gardener, Greg Bostwick, joins us now with the answer to that, as well as the rest of your questions in today's Gardening with Greg segment. We brought it back. Time to start thinking about getting out in your yard.
Yeah, exactly. And this nice little plant here is called a zonal geranium. Zonal, Z-O-N-A-L.
Easy for you to say.
Easy to say. But the reason why it's called that, it's got a little margin on the leaves. You know, you see the green, there's kind of a darker zonal margin around the edge. And I like geraniums. They're pretty easy to grow, actually.
And you were saying that this one's been living out on your patio?
It lasts all winter long. You just protect it just a little bit from the freezes, but it likes the cooler weather, so it really blooms. And you get a lot of winter color, and when it's kind of dreary, kind of makes it feel like spring.
Yeah, it does. And you don't have to water it a whole lot?
Not much. It likes to be on the dry side, which is pretty good sometimes around here too.
Yeah, that's true, because we have a lot of dry spells in southeast Texas. Well, we've got lots of questions on our KFTM News Facebook page, so let's jump right into it. Patty Baird wants to know, what time of year do you replant miniature box hedge bushes?
Well, best time is any time when it's dormant, pretty much, and I would think at this time it's pretty much dormant, but you need to kind of move along here in that process, because I noticed a lot of the plants are beginning to try to wake up. You're seeing a lot of the buds, being a swell on some of the trees. You want to try to do all this before all that happens, because you put a lot of stress on a plant, any plant, when you try to transplant when it's already growing.
Okay, another question. Ricky Borez, what's the best thing to do for mites?
There are some good chemicals out there. A lot of the best ones, I hate to, and I'm going to go ahead and endorse one, the Bayer products, B-A-Y-E-R, make some really good products. And a lot of them are systemic, which means systemic, in other words, you mix up a batch of stuff, pour it on the plant, the base of the plant, and it ingests basically the poison into the root system, into the plant. Now, obviously, you can't use that on vegetables.
Right,
then you
because
have a
you're going to eat it.
But on ornamentals like roses and other flowers and things, that's a real good thing to use, because it will. They actually have a miticide in the liquid.
Okay. What type of herbs are best used for containers?
Just about any of them, actually. I've got a lot of peppermints, the different mints, and basil will be fine, rosemary, all those different things. You can, any of those type of plants you can actually keep under control by just a little bit of pruning. And a lot of folks don't have a lot of room. That's a good thing. They can have their own little herb garden on their patio or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Is now a good time to prune my crepe myrtle? It's been seeing a lot of I guess the yard companies out pruning those crepe myrtles. And how far back should I prune? They are pretty mature trees.
If it's a real mature one, I wouldn't cut back more than about a third, something like that. Just kind of use your own judgment a little bit. But yeah, you can go ahead and prune those right now. Again, that's the thing you need to do before they really start putting out new foliage.
Okay. I planted bell peppers in a pot in the back in November. They have grown thick, strong stalks, but they've always been inside. I was wondering, what can I do to help them produce?
Get them outside.
Really?
Well, the thing is, they're not going to produce much fruit at all unless they're pollinated correctly. And a lot of things you have to have, insect pollination, or in some fruits and vegetables, is actually the wind pollinates them by moving the different pollen particles around. So in the house, you're not going to do very well. So you need to get that outside. But the problem is right now, because we're still really in February, be very cautious about putting stuff outside yet, especially peppers and tomatoes, because we still could have a freeze.
Okay, I think we can get in one more. What is the best tiller for a small home plot with a lot of roots?
Well, they sell some of the smaller ones that, one called a mantis tiller. I've seen them some of the stores around town, and they're fairly small. They're only about, 18 inches wide. They're lightweight, 20, 30 pounds. They're pretty strong. They can break through a lot of things. Versus buying one of those huge tillers, you know what I'm talking about, the rear tine tillers. They're very expensive as well. So try to get you one of those ones at some of the stores that sell the smaller tillers.
All right, Greg, we've got lots of other questions. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so we'll get you back on and do this again.
And by then, we'll really be in spring.
That's right.